Welcome to Bentley's Backwoods Bushcrafting, and today I'm going to show you how to make a net. And what we're going to use is this jute twine here. I got it at the Dollar Tree. It's a Tool Bench brand, and this stuff is really nice to make nice, practical, inexpensive, useful netting. So let's get started. Alrighty, the first thing we're going to do is take a roll of this jute, and we're going to run it across these two trees here. Alrighty, so we got it running from this tree here, runs across here, over to this tree here, and it's slack. It's not really tight. This isn't the greatest as far as tensile strength. It does make really nice netting though. So this is what I use to practice with because it's inexpensive and it is effective. So let's continue on. Alrighty, so we're getting ready to start here. So we just need a length of this, and it can be any length you want depending on how big you want to make your net. You just have to remember a couple things, that you will be doubling this over, and also you will be losing a little bit of length from it, from the weaving and tying that you do on the net, so take that into consideration. Just because it's just for practice, I'm not going to make them very big. So what I'll do is I'll get a bunch of these, and then I'll get back with you when we're ready to put them on and begin. Alrighty, I'm back. Just because this is just instructional demonstration, I only made 7 of them, and this will be plenty to get you guys started. And basically all you have to do, it just becomes repetition. Making nets like this is just all about repetition. Once you get it down, you get pretty good at it, you get pretty fast at it, and it's just all repetition. Repetition. Alrighty, so here we have a guideline which runs across, and like I said, I've got 7 of these just because just showing you guys how to do it, and 7 of them will be plenty for that. So what you're going to do is you're going to take both your ends, find both your ends, put them together like this. Just run it down till you get to the halfway mark right here. Got your halfway mark. So then what we're going to do is we're going to go take it over here to our line. So you just lay it over your line, and then you take your hoop here, your loop, and you run your 2 tag ends through that, and just tighten it up a little bit. That's all you do. So we'll do a little bit of a closer view on that, and we'll continue. Alrighty, so I have noticed that trying to do this green twine in the middle of the green woods is probably not the smartest thing I've done, but we'll give this a shot here. So you've got it where it's in half. You take your loop and you lay it over, open it up, and all you do is you run your 2 tag lines through there, just like that, and just pull them through. And then you can tighten that down, and you can move these anywhere you want, get them all on there, and then you can adjust them to fit whatever you're working with. Alrighty, so I'm going to go ahead and work on this for a few seconds here. You guys can just watch, and luckily I'm not doing a massive one, just doing a small little demo for you here. and maybe you can pick up a few things. As you can see, it's just repetition, repetition. And it's really, repetition is really good when you're learning stuff, because you repeat it so much that it just becomes kind of instinctive, and you do it without even thinking about it. And once you can start doing stuff without even thinking about it, then you know you've got it. Alrighty, this is the last one. Like I said, I'm not really doing this to make a net. I'm just doing this to show you how to make it. And it becomes really relaxing. So anyway, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You got your 7 pieces right here. So now we're going to begin by starting to tie these things here. So what you want to do is you take your first one, and that'll just stay over here for a second. You don't need that one. You move to your second one and your third one, and all you do is determine where you want, how big you want your netting to be. Pinch those two, roll it to make a little loop, bring your tag ends in that loop and run them through, and just tighten it down, and you create a little V. So I'm going to do this a couple times, and you take your next 2 and you do the same thing. Now I don't do a lot of measuring when I do this kind of stuff. I'm out here, so I just try to eyeball it, and there again, that's another skill that after a while you get pretty decent at, is sit here and eyeballing it. Make your little knot. There you go, you got another V. And then you take your next 2 and you do the same thing. Like I said, repetitiveness, that's all it is. Make your loop, run your 2 tag ends through that loop, eyeball where you want the knot, tighten it up. And there we go again. I'll do one more here, and then we'll get a little closer. So grab the 2, make your loop, pull the tags through, eyeball where the knot's at, and tighten it down. So there we go. So I'm going to get a little closer so you guys can see this a lot closer. Alrighty, we're getting a little bit closer here so you can see exactly what I'm doing. So I take the, here's the V when I go next to the next one, and I grab the next 2. Of course, now the wind's going to start blowing. Grab the next 2. Let me run these back behind there real quick so you can kind of see. There we go. Get the next 2. You form that little V. You make a loop, and I'll extend this really so you can see it. You make that loop, and then you run the 2 tag ends through that loop, pull them through, and then you just cinch down on the knot. And as you do that, you eyeball where you want the knot at and just tighten it down. That's all it's to it. And then you continue. You do the next one. And there we go. Now we got the first row done. Okay, so we have the first row done. Now what we're going to do is now we're going to go back to the beginning. Now this first one, originally we just left alone and didn't do anything with. This is the one we're going to grab now. And then we're going to grab the next one. And we're going to do the exact same thing. All we're going to do is find a spot, make our loop, run the tag ends through, find where we want it, and cinch it down. There we go. And the next one, the next two, we grab those. Make the loop, pull the tag ends through, eyeball our knot, tighten it down, and then we just continue on. And this is all you do. This is it. This is making a net right here. You just continue to do this over and over and over until the net's the size you want. This is fantastic for making gill nets, for making little camo nets to hide things. If you use the proper cordage, this is also really good for hammocks. And this netting process, this process right here, is good for countless projects. And I think everybody should at least be familiar with the process. So you know, it doesn't cost really any money. And, you know, if you have to buy cordage, go to the Dollar Tree. You know, you can get that you can get this twine here, 3 packs of it for $1. So now we're at the end, and here's the tag end, the very tag end that we did not use the last time. So we take the last two, make our loop, pull the tag ends through, and tighten our knot. And we're done with the second row. And now you've formed these little diamond shapes, which is your actual netting. And you go back and you continue. Again, you go back to this one, you leave the first one off, and you begin with your second and third one, and you just continue on, and you just alternate back and forth, and eventually you have that net. So I'll do a close-up on these diamond shapes here real quick. So after it's all said and done, and you spend all that time and effort, you end up with a net like that. And I couldn't honestly tell you how long it took me to make that net. I mean, it was something that I spent a lot of time, a lot of spare time, and a lot of hours working on. And this particular net I made at home. I was just in the house, and I set it up in a big opened area, and I just would work on it from time to time. And this is many days of work, and I'm not talking about many days just working on it randomly. I'm talking about once it's said and done, this spent many, you know, 20, 30, 40 hours of work sometimes doing this. Now once you get proficient at it, it doesn't take nearly as long. I started getting really good at it, and I was pretty ramped about pulling these things out. But when it's all said and done, that's what it looks like. And the best thing I could say about this is, if there was ever a situation where you had to make a net like this, this is a project that you sit around camp and do when you're not really doing anything else, when you're relaxing and that sort of thing. You work on it a little bit at a time. Or if you have multiple people, this is something good for the kids, or the people that stay back at camp and they don't go out and do any hunting, gathering, collecting, or anything else. This is a project for them to do while they're back at camp. You know, if someone's injured and they can't go out and do something, you know, and they have to stay at camp, this is the type of projects that you have them do, because it really benefits survival as a whole. and it's a good way to contribute if you're unable to contribute in any other manner. But I love making these nets. It's really relaxing. For a few seconds, get one of these other smaller nets that I've made, and kind of talk about this here. If you can kind of see it here, little section of green I did as well. So really what this is you can see these little diamond shapes here that's made, and that's really all it is as you're alternating back and forth from line to line, you make these little squares or diamonds in your netting, and then these can be used for all sorts of projects. I will say this though, I do want to mention this. I've seen these made on YouTube, and people talk about how they use these for traps, net traps. Now, I'm not going to say that it doesn't work for other people, but I will say that I have tested this theory, and these things get tore up. I mean, ripped to shreds. I don't care what kind of animal it is. Squirrel, chipmunk, rabbit, raccoons, possums. I don't care how big or how small you get. They tear the crap out of these things. As far as once you capture them, they get, you know, you lay them down, and then the net comes up and whoosh, you know, catches on. No. From my experience, does not happen. I did test that theory out, and every time I've done it, and I can't say I've done it a lot, I've done it 3 or 4 times. Every time that I've done it, and it's actually been set off and did grab something, these things were ripped to shreds. And I'm not talking about, you know, some huge animal getting into it. I mean, it, you know, a rabbit tear these things to shreds. So if a rabbit does it, a squirrel does it, you know, there's no way these netting things like this are going to catch raccoons or possums or anything else. So I'm gonna say from my experience, netting from material like this, any type of cordage really, in my opinion, to use as a snare trap or as a netting trap is a no-go. Feel free to give it a try, and if it has worked for you, let me know. I would really love to hear the story about somebody who has actually caught a live animal in one of these cordage nets. I would love to hear that story, because not where I'm at. So anyway, thank you for watching Bentley's Backwoods Bushcrafting. I hope this net video has helped you out. There again, there's, you know, I'm out in a nice lush green environment, and I'm sitting here trying to make a green net. But regardless, I hope that it helps. Let me know what you think. Please comment, share, subscribe. You know, I enjoy everybody. I really do. I have finally caught up on everybody's videos, by the way. All several hundred of them that I missed over the week that I had been gone. So I just caught up last night, early this morning. So I should say early this morning. Finally caught up on everybody's videos, and I'm starting to get back in the groove of things here in Indiana. So everybody enjoy.